Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I have various questions too, and you may have answered a lot of questions I have with her question.
That's all
And
right.
there's
I haven't answered yours.
That's true. I know my passion,
And that would be?
music,
All right.
but I have a difficult.
All right. Now, one moment before you go on.
Okay.
Remember also that we talk about the idea of following your passion, following your excitement, and also in this context today, the passion, the desire we're talking about is also for changing core belief. You follow me? Mm-hmm. All right, continue.
Well, the core belief I want to change is I've been a healer for 15 years, and
All right.
I'm angry.
You're angry, an angry healer.
That's right, Bashar. I'm feeling that anger.
A no-nonsense, knock-down, drag-out, angry healer.
Yes.
All right.
I'm ready to give it up.
Are you?
Yes, I want to, but it's the money. It's
the money.
Surviving.
The surviving. Ooh, not even living. Surviving. Ooh.
And the funny thing is that I'm abundant right now.
I see.
I am being very well taken care of through my husband.
Yes.
But
That's a form of abundance.
Yes. But I want to find self-sufficiency.
Well, go right ahead.
And I want to go for my music. I want to let go of the healership.
Go right ahead.
But how?
However, I understand you are physical beings. Please pay attention to your true system of beliefs. I know you want to get to the core things and change these, but while you are holding on to certain beliefs, don't short circuit yourself by moving into something you say is your passion sooner than your belief systems are honestly ready to let you do. Otherwise, you will just wind up jumping off a cliff and suddenly being surprised that you can't fly. As long as you still hold on to the belief that you will not fly, it would be wise not to jump off the cliff. Or at least start climbing down the cliff. As long as you believe your belief systems can support you that far, you can start some level of your passion, but respect where your beliefs actually are, and that simply takes honest self-assessment to find out what those definitions are so that you're not fooling yourself into thinking you're truly ready to live your passion when you yourself have contrary beliefs about that. So it's all right to take your time, is all we are saying, as long as you respect where you're truly at with it. Now, if you really feel that you can take a bigger leap than you have before, then by all means take whatever leap you are comfortable with, but make sure it's simply as much as you possibly can do in the direction of your passion while respecting where you're really at. I'm not saying be hesitant. I'm saying have true recognition of what your beliefs will really allow you to do. Because sometimes when you take that leap and feel that you've gone through an experience where taking that leap has suddenly smacked you in the face like a brick wall, that experience itself is for the purpose of putting you in touch with other beliefs you may still be holding on to that didn't really allow you to take the leap you wanted. And so that's okay too. You follow me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just use the experience that way and you will be using it, let's say, appropriately. Nevertheless, you want to do your music instead of your healing, although there isn't necessarily that much difference between the two, is there?
I'm not sure yet.
Well, is not healing vibration?
Yes.
Is not music vibration?
True.
Does not music heal?
True.
Well, you can still be a healer and be a musical one. Maybe you're just angry with yourself for not being the kind of healer you would actually rather be. Yes, no, maybe?
Yes. Well,
All
I'm
right.
also experiencing guilt with that because
Let's pile on the negative beliefs. Let's make it that much more difficult. Not only am I angry that I'm not doing what I want, but I'm also guilty about not doing it. Bad me, shame on me. Let's really pile on the difficulty level instead of just doing what I want. Let's spend more time processing all the things I want to judge about myself. Now, you understand, I'm not making fun of you, yeah?
I understand.
All right. However, sometimes humans are so easy to make fun of. We just can't help ourselves. You know, because we don't have TV. You put on quite a show, all of you, and we are more than happy to watch. However, this is an interactive show. So, what do you gain? And here's where we connect. Very good for asking the question, very good for making the statement. Brilliant, thank you. Here's where we connect to the idea of really exploring core beliefs, because, as we have said, the beliefs you hold on to, the definitions you hold on to because you want to. You never hold on. You will never, I guarantee it, believe me, you will never hold on to a belief or a definition, no matter how negative, that you don't define as working for you on some level. If you hold on to it, it's because you think it serves you to hold on to it. Because you've defined it in a way that says, as uncomfortable as it is to hold on to this belief, the alternative is scarier. So this makes me feel more comfortable, so I'll keep it, thank you. You will never hold on to that belief if you actually believed this was more advantageous. But if you're scared of this choice, you will think this is more advantageous, to hold on to what you know, to hold on to what you're familiar with. As uncomfortable as it may be, it's familiar, and sometimes that's why the symbol on the Enneagrammatic circuit, the last one is the unknown. Sometimes you define the unknown as scarier, and you'd rather have the familiar, as unpleasant as it is. And there it is again, another example of attaching definition to things. This is horrible, it's horrible, it's horrible. I can't stand it, I can't stand it, I can't stand it, but I can't stand that more. When you switch that idea, believe me, you will let go of this instantly and attach to that immediately. As soon as you change the definition of what actually serves you better, as soon as you get in touch with that core belief that going in this direction will actually be the best thing for you, you will immediately do so, and believe me, nothing will stop you. Nothing. Nothing gets in your way. Nothing gets in your way. Everything you're doing because you choose to do it, because you've defined it as the best thing for you to do by comparison to this other option. But if you know that other option could serve you, you simply have to get in touch with the rest of the definitions that don't allow you to automatically choose it, that don't allow you to feel that it would. And that's usually the definition that does that. Is this making some sense to you?
Yes, I just want to feel it so I can go.
All right. Well, as you say, first of all, you're angry about doing something that's not really who you are. All right, that's fine. Natural anger, shall we call it alignment, energy alignment, that's what it's doing. It's aligning you with your truth. Natural anger lasts about, 15 seconds. Anything beyond that is judgment. You understand?
Yes.
Natural anger is energy alignment. It's the recognition that a thing is not you by comparison. And you go, oh, no, not me. That's not who I am. But that's all anger actually is. If it lasts longer than that, that's where these other definitions of judgment come in. Oh, guilty. Guilty for not choosing this sooner. Now I'm really angry. And the guilt feeds the judgmental version of anger and perpetuates and magnifies that, and you spend your day going around in circles dealing with that, instead of simply using the anger in a positive way and say, oh, this version of healing is not who I am. All right. This is. and start moving in that direction, because you know that's who you are, and because you know that's who you are, you know that's what will support you. Because what excites you the most comes as a complete kit. Otherwise, it would be pointless. If what excited you the most couldn't support you in the reality you've chosen to be in, there would be no point in that being the thing that excites you, because it wouldn't allow you to do that thing. It wouldn't allow you to continue to move in that direction if it didn't come with the ability to bring you what you need to continue to move in that direction. So you can even logic this out for yourself if that's the facility that works best for you, and recognize that there would be no reason for you to get excited about something if it didn't contain the ability to do that thing, to continue your excitement. Do you follow me?
I follow you.
Is this making sense and
I-
dollars to you?
I'm feeling it, yes.
All
I'm
right.
feeling it.
Now, if the other issues come up, I'm unsure about this, I'm unsure about that, I'm not good enough for this, I'm not qualified for that, I don't know enough about this, I don't know enough about that. Do what you need to do to gain the information and experience that you need, knowing that that's not a path toward your excitement, that all those things are part of your excitement. They're just different perspectives, different variations of it. Different parts of the process of living your excitement. It's all living your excitement. And you can use even what you've been doing as part of your excitement, because it's finally brought you to a place where it's become clear what you are not. And sometimes people on earth have to simply figure out what they are by first figuring out what they are not. Sometimes it just works best that way for some of you, because now you know where you don't want to go. And that helps you really define where you do want to go. And if you worked it that way, bless it. It got you to this realization. So don't be angry with it. Don't be angry with yourself. Use it. Say, aha, freedom, release, insight, inspiration. The path I've been on, the things I've been doing have brought me to this realization. Hallelujah.
Gotcha. Thank you, Bashar.
If you don't use your life up to this point that way, it's like having a path of stepping stones and saying, I invalidate the stepping stones I have been walking on. If you invalidate them, if you judge them as unworthy of having been there, they will vanish experientially, and thus then how can they get you to where you want to go? How can they lead you to the rest of the stepping stones if you invalidate the stones you've stepped on?
I think it's the fear of crossing over and how
Yes.
I'm going to be supported financially
Yes.
to get to that level of my passion.
Yes.
I don't want to go to work at Mickey D's. And even though that my husband is supporting me, I keep thinking, I really want to let go of the massage.
Yes.
I do. I
All
have
right.
to.
Then
But-
do what you can in the direction of your highest joy, to the degree that your belief system will allow you to. Start there. Go as far as you believe you are willing to believe you can be supported.
Okay.
And don't discount any avenue that you really believe is a representation of your excitement in any form.
Okay.
But also, don't put conditions on yourself. You see, what you just did in that last sentence was bring up a flurry of belief systems and conditions. The only way I can get there and support myself is by working here or doing this job I don't like. I have to do it that way. No, you don't. But you have just revealed to yourself all the belief systems you have about that. So that's good. You've just made yourself transparent, and now you can deal with why you are afraid to take that step. You are afraid to take that step because you have a definition that says you must do it in a way that is unpleasant for you, that is not preferred. But that's not necessarily an empirical truth. It's just your definition that says that. So get in touch with why you have that definition and why you've made it real, and make it unreal. Because it doesn't have to be real, does it? One of the wonderful, wonderful things that exists is that there are other people. Other people act as shining examples of what's possible. If someone else can do it, you can do it. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's why all of you, really, most importantly, can be examples to everyone else by really following your passion. Because when you see someone else do it, it's not that you have to do it exactly the same way, but if they did it, that means it's possible for you. If you have attracted yourself into their life, or at least attracted them into your life enough to be aware of them and what they've done, then be inspired by the fact that they've done it as knowledge. As knowledge that if you've attracted them into your life as an example, that's a sign, that's a marker that you've done that to show yourself you are capable of the same thing. So if they created abundance in their lives in a fantastically rich, effortless, fun, and playful way, so can you. If the example exists anywhere and you can see it or be aware of it, it means you're capable of the same thing, or the example would never have come into your life, because there are no accidents. Does that make sense?
Yes, it frees me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bashar.
This and what we are talking about in this kind of dialogue is not just a precursor to the idea of getting in touch with core beliefs. Everything we are saying has everything to do with really using this example, as we just pointed out in this last conversation, as an example of having your own dialogue at the same time and using this and applying it to your own situation to get in touch with your beliefs and your underlying beliefs and your core beliefs. All of this is part of the process. We are not stepping aside from all the other information we're talking about. This is part of the information. These dialogues are part of the information, part of the process in action. So pay attention to that. Are there more clarifications and questions?
Hello, dear Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm just step on the path when I'm trying to explore who I am and why I'm here.
Yes.
And it brings also tremendous responsibilities because
Oh, stop. Before you go on, are you defining the term responsibility in a positive or negative way?
Positive.
All right. Go ahead.
And it's interesting, like you said, there's no accidents in the universe.
No.
And more I'm getting, I feel like I'm just on the baby level to be on that road, but I'm getting...
You all are.
Thank you. But I'm getting more and more.
And so are we.
Thank you.
We are always all learning. There is no end. So, we are all masters, and we're all on the baby level. And a master knows they're on the baby level. That's what makes them a master. Continue.
It's interesting that I'm getting more and more information about
Yes.
stuff what even hard to comprehend by human mind, but it's very exciting and very interesting about the answer to question why I'm here.
Yes.
And I would like you, would you please scan my energy and maybe ask the guys on the other side
The guys?
to get their permission? Because in a way, I feel that me and you are related. I
Well,
even
yes,
start to...
in a sense, we are speaking to the people we are speaking to because there is an energetic connection. Otherwise, you'd be talking to someone else. So there is a relationship, there is a relatedness to the energy connection. Now, with their permission, your permission, and this goes for all of you, individually as well as collectively. What will help clarify some of these issues is information that does already exist. If you're not aware of it yet, it would be perhaps advantageous for you to become aware of this information. And it is in the form of what we will suggest as 3 books. Read Journey of Souls, Destiny of Souls, and the newest Conversations with God book called Home with God. All 3 are specifically about choosing from the spirit level the idea of physical reality and what goes into it, and why you choose those things, and why you wind up where you wind up. Educate yourself, if you have not done so yet, with the information in those books. They will help you synthesize a better and clearer understanding of the processes and mechanisms that go on in the spirit world that wind up in what your lives turn out to be, and thus, in some senses, answer many of the questions as to why is this happening? Why am I this person? So read those 3 books, see what that does, process that information, and see if it will take you further toward answering the why. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, one moment. One moment. Are you specifically or strongly attracted to the color lavender or the
Yes.
flower?
Yes.
All right. This is, again, coming from your guides as a very good focusing element for you. It puts you, in a sense, helps you put yourself in the proper vibrational state to best absorb this kind of information. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I also have a question, more specific question.
Yes.
Is one of my guide extraterrestrial?
Yes.
Can you name
No.
him? Okay, thank you. My other question, and this was piquing my curiosity recently, it's about, and you brought it many times and even today, that it's no such thing as a past life, reincarnation. All lives are going on simultaneously.
Yes, you can experience it as a past life, but they don't really exist in the past because there's no such thing. Everything exists now.
Yes, but my question is, can I change my frequency to experience those lives and then change my frequency to the present frequency? And
Yes.
is it any effects of those parallel lives on a current frequency life?
Yes, of course. They're all interconnected. There is constant communication and bleed through of information and experiences crossing all those lives. Constantly. You may not always know where it comes from, where an inspiration suddenly comes from, but it might be coming from an experience in another parallel life that you know you can use in this life, and so you simply make a connection, download the information, and use it without necessarily having to know it's coming in that sense from another life. You understand?
Yes, but how I can achieve that? I was
You don't necessarily always want to know where it's coming from, because that might slow down your ability to actually use that information in this life. When you need to know where it comes from, you will.
All right.
You can be open to exploring that idea, and when and where it's important for you to know that it's part and parcel of another life experience your oversoul may be having, then you'll know. But if you don't know, it's not always important for you to know, because it may not be part of your experience here to know specifically where that information comes from, because you need to use it in this life in the way you need to use it, not in the way that version of you needed to use it. Make sense?
Yes.
But if it excites you to explore that idea, see where your excitement takes you without expectation. Because remember, you're choosing to live this life,
Yes.
not become the other lives. Although you can connect to them, just use your imagination. The lavender may help with that as well.
Thank you.
But you may only at first get very quick flashes. That may be enough. Don't insist on more. Just take it the way it comes, because that's the way it serves you. And if it needs to come in longer flashes and longer understandings of what's going on in different lives, then the more you do it, it may come that way if it needs to. All right?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes. And the
Yeah.
last thing,
Yeah.
I was very excited today to hear about that you stressed the importance of the dreams.
Yes.
And this is what I also been getting messages that I need to look more into my dreams.
Yes.
Because this is the way how my guides speak to me.
Absolutely. And that's very important. But what we are also stressing here today is not so much the importance of dreams as the importance of dreaming. All right? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What is the time frame remaining for this segment? All right. And to you, good day.
I know a hypnotherapist in Atlanta who changes negative beliefs in your subconscious and cleanses attached spirits, also done by John of God in Brazil.
One moment. Please remember, listen to your language. You do all the changing that happens in you. Someone else may have the ability to inspire you to make that change, but no one else, not even God, can change you if you don't want to change. Remember the joke we told in the beginning?
Yes.
The light bulb has to want to change.
Right.
So you make all the changes in you. No one changes you. But they may set up a vibration from which you take inspiration to change yourself. That's how healing works. Mm-hmm. That's how masters work. They give off a vibration that represents the healed state, but you have to set that vibration up within yourself by matching it in order for you to experience the change or the healing. So you're actually doing the work, but they're acting as a reflective vibrational example. They're not doing it to you or for you. Does that make sense?
Right.
So pay attention to how you say those things, because sometimes in phrasing it the way you phrased it, it can be that you're in a state where you're giving your power away to someone else, and that's exactly the opposite direction you want to go in.
So I can heal myself
You
without...
do heal yourself all the time. Anytime there is a healing or a change, you're the one doing it. But you may be taking your cue from examples others are giving you. And the fact that they may say, you are healed, doesn't mean they actually did it. It still means you did it too. Mm-hmm. Do you understand?
Yes, definitely.
Does this help?
Yes.
All right, and?
If I don't get inspired myself, it is helpful to go see these people.
Yes, it can help trigger the idea. All I'm saying is always remember that if you do get triggered and if something does happen, it's you that really did it, even though you may have allowed them to inspire you and help you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. At this timing, we will allow you to be inspired by your stomachs. Have refreshment. And we will continue this transmission with more information and more interaction after your lunch break. Thank you. How's it going? I'll say let us continue with the transmission in the following manner. All of you become as comfortable as you can. Close your eyes if you wish. When you are feeling comfortable in your position, take a deep breath in and let it out. Take another deep breath in, slowly, let it out. And one more time, take a deep breath in and let it out. Breathe easily, comfortably, in a relaxed manner. Let your body relax. Let your feet relax, your legs relax, your hips relax, your torso relax, shoulders relax, hands, arms relax, neck, muscles relax, face, muscles relax, scalp, muscles relax. Loosen your jaw muscle. Just breathe. Just feel yourself floating along. And now, if you will, imagine that you are on the surface of the ocean and you are in a kind of deep diving vessel. It is not claustrophobic. It is of your own design. It is as spacious as you want it to be, or as intimate as you want it to be, made out of whatever you want it to be made out of. If it is transparent, that is fine. If it is not transparent, allow it to at least have a viewing window through which you can look. And by whatever means you may imagine, pragmatic or miraculous, you have no problem breathing inside this deep diving vessel. The air is fresh and comfortable. Temperature is comfortable. The way you are either lying down, sitting, or standing in it is comfortable. It is almost like an extension of you, of your body. And as you bob up and down in the waves on the surface, you look out and you see beautiful sun-dappled surface of the ocean with 1,000 little glints of light. And it stretches far, far off into the horizon. Now and then, perhaps, either a fish or a dolphin may poke its head up, cause a little splash to occur with its tail, just enough to let you know that there's activity below the surface. And as beautiful as the surface may be, and the sky above, and the clouds, and whatever land there may be in sight, and as beautiful as the color of the surface may be, and the day and the wind may be, the splashing has gotten your curiosity. And you decide that you will just take a little dive down a little ways just to see what's going on down there below the surface. And so you allow your mind to control in whatever way you wish, either by creating your levers or buttons in front of you, or just with mind control. You allow yourself to just sink below the surface a little bit. It is still brightly lit below the surface by the sun. And you can begin to see that there is life here. A few little beautiful, colorful fishes swimming around. Some very interesting ones of different sizes and shapes swimming around, looking back at you with equal curiosity. And you see below that the color of the ocean shifts to a deeper blue. And you decide that you're curious enough to see what's down there too. And so you allow yourself to descend a little bit further, just a little bit, into a beautiful deep blue, level layer of the ocean. And you see that there are different kinds of animals and fish down at this level, doing slightly different things, moving in slightly different ways, and you begin to get a sense of the different layers and levels of community and communication that exist within the ocean. And you look down and see that it is deeper blue still below you. And with your curiosity heightened, you decide you will really explore a little bit further, and you allow the deep diving vessel to sink and descend a little bit more into the deeper layers of the blue. Deep blue, not quite indigo. And you begin to see again different forms of life. Some of them may seem a little strange. Some of them may even seem a little bit scary, but that's all right. You're perfectly safe, comfortable, at ease in your deep diving vessel made of impenetrable material. But you have a perfect window on this strange, mysterious world at this level of the sea. And you see below you that it becomes darker still. And you move down through the layers into a deep indigo all around you, maybe even with just the slightest tinge of violet to it. There is still some sunlight reaching, but it is faint. You are now really in a deeper world, a different world, and you begin to sense that there are larger forms of life down here, doing things very differently than the forms of life above, with a very different kind of ability to navigate through the semi-darkness, with different senses that reach out, that feel, that hear, that receive and send different wavelengths of energy, all through this layer, all through this deep, deep indigo. And you look and you see that there is a darker layer yet below you. And you let the deep diving vessel go down. And now you find that the layer around you deepens, darkens to very, very deep, deep purpley blue. Very deep, almost black, but not quite. And now you begin to sense other life, sense it almost more than see it, although here and there might be little flashes and flickers of light from bioluminescent, self-light generating organisms. And some of them, when you catch a quick glimpse, here and there, may seem very strange, very alien to you, a very different configuration than the life far above you. Yet you still know and still remember that light up above, and even though it doesn't seem so, you know it is still reaching down through the depths, and that there is always a connection to that light above. Always. And now you feel, yet again, a tug, deeper still. And you allow the deep diving vessel to descend into velvety, space-like blackness. And yet there is a substance to it. It's not an emptiness. It's its own dimension. And you sense that there is, even here, near the ocean floor, an intelligence, an awareness of you, and you don't quite know how you are aware of it, but you are. And then you decide that you will switch on the lights of your deep diving vessel and illuminate what is just around you. And in and out of those lights, you see life forms gliding, sliding past, strange, mysterious, never revealing exactly all of their shape and size, but just a fin, just a tail, just a scale, just a hint. Here an eye. And you sense that these, so close to the ocean floor, they form a kind of foundation. Everything from all the upper layers, it eventually sinks down to this level. Eventually, one way or another. And this level absorbs it, builds on it, makes everything that filters down from the top its own, builds its own unique sense of community, idea, reflection, foundation. And you allow your deep diving vessel to go all the way to the bottom, and you land on the ocean floor with a soft thud. And you sit there. And you realize how quiet it is. And you realize that somewhere down here, there is an intelligence and an awareness that gives rise to everything above it. And you reach out your senses and you search with your lights. You do not immediately see what it could be. There are all the familiar life forms swimming around, the ones you have now become familiar with. No matter how strange they may be, you understand. They are their own form of idea, their own form of life. They have their own community, their own layer, their own level, their own understanding, their own intelligence, their own reason for being. But there's something else down here with you that seems to permeate everything, everywhere. It is deep and it is abiding. It is forever. And yet you have encountered it, seemingly for the first time. Become aware of it for the first time, yet you know it has always, always, always been there. Waiting for you to make contact waiting for you to allow yourself to descend through the layers of ideas and beliefs and feeling and knowledge and definition, waiting for you to make contact with the core. And you sense it now as a deep thrumming in the ocean floor, in the earth itself, the core vibrating like a molten heart, pumping, pumping, pumping life into everything above it. And you realize that here lies the key. That fluidity, that moltenness, that heat that lies just beneath the surface of the ocean floor can instantly allow the floor just above it to sink, and you and your diving vessel sink into the ocean floor, through the ocean floor, and into the molten core. And with your impenetrable diving sphere, you see that you are surrounded by the beautiful, thick liquid of the core. You are in the crucible, the forge, from which ideas and beliefs and definitions and feelings and thoughts are formed. But you are in the raw state before it is crystallized into anything that is recognizable as a form, as a life, as an idea. Here in the core is the beginning of all things that you know as the life above. And you realize that it all comes down to this, that all the things above come from the same place, come from the one core. And as you have this thought, suddenly, this thought, this feeling, this idea puts you in touch that it's so quiet here in the core that you can actually hear your heartbeat. And you realize that your heart is beating at exactly the same rhythm as the core is pulsing around you. And as you imagine, and as you hear, and as you feel this heartbeat, you remember that with every beat of your heart, it sends out an electromagnetic pulse at the speed of light. And it goes through what you thought was the impenetrable skin of your diving vessel. Your diving vessel is transparent to this vibration. And the vibrational beat of your heart causes a stir, a vibration in the core fluid around you. And a pulse comes back in answer to your heartbeat. And the two heartbeats begin to communicate, begin to talk, begin to understand each other, begin to know each other, begin to become each other. And you realize, as the feedback from your heart reaches you from the outside, passing again through the impenetrable skin of your diving vessel and coming back to you, that the very thought that you send out comes back changed, different. You have changed the world around you. Curious to see what this change has wrought, you allow your diving vessel to begin to ascend up through the molten core, up through the dividing line between the hot and the cold ocean floor. And it solidifies around you and under your diving vessel. And somehow, there's a difference. The forms of life around you in the deep are not quite the same. The flashes of light are not quite the same pattern. Something has changed. Something is different. Something is new. And you rise up through the layers, through the deepest blue, into the lighter blue, the lighter blue, the lighter blue, all the way up until you are once again breaching and bobbing, splashing on the surface, and looking at the horizon, looking at the ocean stretch out all around you